Right, hi, I'm the Moorlander and this is Moorlander EDC. Now, earlier this year I went to IWA in Germany and spent quite some time on the Nitecore stand. There's a few things that really impressed me, and I know straight away there was certain items like, okay, that's something that I'd like to test out. And when I put the content out, I know you guys were like, that is cool. Can you get one of those? So I was straight on the phone, maybe, no it wasn't, it was over email, talking to the contacts over at Nitecore, and I said, look, is there any chance you could send me a Summit 10,000? So they have sent me one of these. I've had this now for a couple of weeks, so I've been using it when I go into the office, and I've done days where I haven't charged my phone from the mains. I've done it specifically on this, knowing that this is a 10,000 milliamp hour battery charger. My phone battery is roughly 4,000, I think it's just less than 4,000, so I know I can get 2+ charges out of it. Very impressed with this. So first things first, I'd like to thank Nitecore for sending this my way. The team there are absolutely amazing. And I will say this as well, this is very notable that when I went to the stand at IWA, incredibly nice people and very welcoming. So yes, it was certainly nice and a joy to be able to film there. So yes, thank you for sending this my way. Now I will state, so this was sent to me free of charge, but again, you know, they were another company that I have a reasonably good relationship with, and if I didn't like this, then I'd certainly tell you. Spoiler alert, I mean, this is a winner. I mean, there's no two ways about it. Yes, if you're thinking of getting one of these, then I'd probably say just pick one up. Yeah, very good. But let's get into some of the details. I'll turn the camera around so that we can take a closer look at the Nitecore Summit 10,000. So here we have the Summit 10,000. Now I will add, there's actually a few different variants of this. This is the 10,000 version, and there is also one that is twice the volume, twice the capacity, which is the 20,000 version. Very typical Nitecore branded box. On the back here, it gives you some more information. I don't know if you can read this here, but just in case, I know certain people like to see some of these details, so feel free to pause that. And then just around the box, you know, it's a fairly typical kind of box. On the inside comes with the actual charger itself. So the 10,000 in this refers to its milliamp hours, which means that it is a 10,000 milliamp hour charging pack. Then on this side you get some extra goodies with this. So what you'd normally have in here are the instructions as well. I just took those out for a second and just put these back in there. Okay, so first thing that you get in here is a USB to USB Type-C charger. Really nice, high quality version. I do find with Nitecore a lot of the things that you get from them are of a very high quality. I actually got into Nitecore accessories and things mainly down to the batteries. Before I even realised that they did things like flashlights, I'd bought more batteries from them than I had done anything else. So yes, that really nice. It's also a braided one as well, which again makes it feel really nice, high quality. And then you also get this bag. Now this bag on the outside, it's got a very kind of neoprene wetsuit kind of feel to it, but then on the inside, if I open this up, you can see that it is lined with this heat protective lining. So what you can do is, and they certainly recommend, if you're using this in low temperatures, that you keep it in here. Some of the features that we will look at as part of this will certainly help, and it will help to keep the longevity of the capacity of this. So let's just get one thing clear, and I think that this is the main reason why a charger like this is certainly so useful. It's certainly, and for me, there may be other chargers out there that do this. I'm not sure if there is or they're not, but this is the first one that I've come across. But many of you will know that if you charge up a 10,000 milliamp hour battery like this, and you're out in sub-zero temperatures, the difficulty is that the battery just drains itself incredibly quickly, and you might only get, say, 1,000 milliamp hours out of that. It's crazy just how quickly your battery will release some of its charge, or just not keep its charge whilst you're in sub-zero temperatures. And this is really the main thing for this. It's the Summit version. There is also an NB version, which I also have. I'll make another piece of content on that. And what this does is, in temperatures that are below zero Celsius or below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, it has some internal circuitry in here which will use part of the charge that is stored within the capacity of this to help to heat it. Hence the reason why they certainly recommend, so if you're in an ambient temperature and you're inside your house, you've charged this up, and maybe you're going out into the woods, whatever it is that you're doing, and you want to keep some of the charge or more of the charge in here, just by simply keeping it in an insulated pouch like this will definitely help. If it is that you go out and then you realize that the temperature has dropped, if you go below I'll do everything in Celsius from now, but if you go in anything that is below zero, then there is an option here that you can turn that on. If it is that you're actually using it and it's below zero, it will turn on automatically. Now what we'll do is we'll go through some of the measurements on this, just so that you can get a bit more of a feel for this. So it comes in at 125 millimeters by 63 millimeters across, and it's only 14 millimeters deep. Incredibly small. It's also very light as well. It's only 172 grams. When you compare this, so this is a very similar one. Now this is a power external power brick that I've used from Anker. I've had this now probably for 4 or 5 years, and this has been my go-to one. So if I put these back to back, or at least if I put these on top of each, I suppose they're both black, but if you can see, if I put them down like that, the Anker one is a good 15 millimeters longer, and it's probably a good 7 or 8 millimeters wider. Back to back, again, this has probably got another 2 or 3 millimeters on there as well. The huge difference, especially when you compare these, really is in the weight. I'm just trying to see if I can work it out. Maybe I'll tell you what I'll do after I've done this, and I'll put the weights below here. Hopefully you'll be able to see the difference. This is constructed, if I bring this up here and I get this in the light, look how sexy that is. Okay, so the bottom part of this is constructed from a single piece of carbon fiber, and it looks and feels absolutely amazing in the hand. So when I saw this IWA, what they had this submerged in some water, some icy water that was very cold, and it was submerged up to here. So from here down, this is the ingression as far as water is concerned, you just can't get water into here. However, the 2 ports at the top, you just have to be careful not to get water in from the top, because if you do get water into here, then you're gonna come across some issues. As far as an IPX rating is concerned, so it classes it as an IPX5, the X meaning that they haven't tested it for dust, but as it stands, 5 for water is reasonably high. As I say, you can submerge it up to here, you just don't want to get any water in through the top. But it feels really nice. Down this side, it gives you some information as far as the outputs from each of the different ports that are on here. So there are 2 ports. There is an old school style USB port, and there is a USB type C port. Your USB port is mainly for out. So if you have a preferred charger that you use, or maybe you're an iPhone user and you want to go USB-C to Lightning, then this will do out. Whereas the USB type C port on here is both in and out. On the top, there are also 5 small indicators, and this is the mode button. So if I press this now, because I know that I've definitely got this charged, hopefully you'll be able to see that those 4 lights, so the first light will stay off, and then the other 4 lights will show you exactly how much power that you've got in there. And I'm sure you can imagine, so all 4, you're at 100%, 75%, 50%, 25% or less. And then you can use this mode button to change between different modes. The main reason for that mode button is that when you are charging your mobile phone with this, actually I probably should have compared this to my mobile phone. So this is the, what is this? This is the Google Pixel 6. But compared to the mobile phone, you can see it's definitely a lot smaller. But charging a mobile phone, it's good to keep it on its normal charge mode. You can plug it in. In fact, let's do this. We can plug this in, plug it straight into my phone, and the phone will go, yes, we are, we're charging. If there are some other items, maybe, wow, that sun's gone really bright for a second there. I forgot that I was filming outside. If it is that you're using some other, or at least you want to charge things like wireless headphones, where you want to put it into a low current mode, you can certainly do that, and you do this with this button at the top. So if I do a long press on here, what's happened, oh, let's do that again. So the light on the left hand side here, that has turned on now, so that shows that it's in low current mode. So you're not going to have to worry about overcharging, or I'm certainly not an electrician, but it's not going to damage anything that needs to be in a low current mode. To take it off, you double click it again, and then that will take it out of low current mode, so that if you wanted to charge your mobile phone, then you can charge your mobile phone. Now, as previously mentioned, so this is a 10,000 milliamp hour battery. This is 4,000, actually I think it's just less than 4,000 milliamp hours. So what I've been doing is I've been using this purely to charge this phone, and as you'd expect, I've been able to get 2 full charges out of this, which is 8,000 milliamp hours, and now I wouldn't say I've got half. I definitely haven't got half. You do find, although they say it's 10,000 milliamp hours, it's actually slightly just less than that. But whereas with this one says that it's 10,000 milliamp hours. Even when I got this, I could charge this twice, or the phone that I was using at the time, I could charge it twice, and it got very close to that kind of getting a little bit out the second time. Whereas with the Nitecore version, I definitely do get more out of that third charge, to be able to top it up that extra little bit more. So very impressed as far as the charging is concerned. Charging this back up again when you need to recharge this is, as I guess, as you'd expect, really, so however long it takes you to charge your 4,000 milliamp hour battery in your mobile phone, you can imagine that this takes roughly twice the amount of time, and yeah, it charges as quickly and as efficiently as you'd expect, really. Now, as previously mentioned, there is a low temperature mode for the Summit 10,000. Actually, I know I keep mentioning, so this is the 10,000, but a lot of these things that apply with this also apply to the Summit 20,000 version. In fact, the vast majority of the things that we've gone through, so whether you're going for the 10,000 or the 20,000, all of the different functions on here are exactly the same. But if you are in very low temperatures, and now we're talking, it specifically is freezing point, which is 0°C or 32 degrees Fahrenheit. If you're not using this and you realise that it has gone incredibly low and you're concerned it's in here, then you can put it into its low temperature mode. It will know that it is at 0 degrees, and then when it's on, you just need to do a short press on here on the mode button, and that will put it into its low temperature mode. What that will do then is activate some fine circuitry or some fine wiring through here, which will increase the temperature of this. It does use some of the battery from the actual capacity itself. However, it's not much considering the amount that you will lose if it starts to become affected by the temperature, put it that way. If it is that you are already charging something though, so if this is in here and you're out and about, maybe you're doing some walking, this is in your bag and you're charging away, once this recognizes that it is in it's in an area that is at freezing point, 0 Celsius or 32 degrees Fahrenheit, and it's already being used, it will automatically put itself into its low temperature mode, which again is a really nice feature and something that's really, well, it's just great to have. The difficulty with all of these sort of things, especially with this one, I've done a few on sites where I've been waiting for taxis, I've been waiting for trains, all of that sort of stuff, and wherever you are, there's some very cold places through Europe, and I have struggled with this. With this one, no issues whatsoever. Now, I will state at this point, so I certainly haven't put this in my refrigerator or in my freezer to test this out. It's something that I will definitely do a follow-up piece on this come, I know this time next year, 12 months later kind of thing, when I have been able to test it as well in those low temperatures. The only thing that I have seen is when I was at IWA and it was submerged in that ice water, that it was there and it had been keeping its charge all day. But yes, incredibly impressed with this. Now, at the beginning of this, I said, spoiler alert, if you're thinking of getting one of these, if you've got all the way to the end of this now, well, thank you for staying and watching everything. But hopefully this proves to you exactly how useful these are, the amount of charge that you can get out of these. I think generally when you're thinking about charge, a lot of that generally tends to come down to things like your mobile phone. Roughly, well, actually you can get more than 2 charges from this. But it's those other items when you're thinking about the weight and the size of this, how small and how light it is. Things like your Nintendo Switches, which run out of battery very quickly, to be able to have something like this that you can throw into whatever bag or case that you have with your Switch. But the real kind of seller for this, outside of your consumer electronics, is making sure that if you need to have some charge, that you have got some charge. The fact that this will help to retain some of the charge in there, with having those coils that help to keep it warm. This is the real lifesaver of a product like this. So that if something runs out, you need to be able to make contact with somebody, then yeah, absolutely amazing product. I always say this, that I haven't got like a seal of approval or like a stamp of quality kind of thing, or I don't know, Moorlander recommended, or I don't know, I really should pull my finger out and actually do something like that. If I did have one of those seals, this would 110% yes, get one of those seals. Now, as usual, I will leave some links to Nitecore below so that you can see more from this and where you can pick one of these up as well. I'll leave some of their social media links as well so that you can follow more and see more from them. And I'll leave some of my social media links below as well. For now, as usual, stay safe, stay Moorlander, and stay EDC. You wait all day to go outside to film, and then when you do go outside to film, everybody decides to use the multi-tools. Now, I'm not selfish enough to demand that everybody stops, but it's just one of those things, isn't it?